For our pandemic lockdown, I bought 2 games, Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing, New Horizons. I wanted to relieve some frustration and chill out. Doom Eternal starts off very strongly, I think. The game is fast and smooth, the action clear and simple, the soundtrack is immense. However, Doom Eternal isn't quite content to leave you in that satisfying loop for long, opting instead for an influx of additional systems to flesh out the gameplay. Grenades of the ice and frag variety, new weapons with many functions, a cool gothic hub to explore, and platforming. It could just be me, but first-person platforming is rarely satisfying. Coupled with the fact that Doomslayer's viewpoint seems to be somewhere around his kneecaps, and there being as many leaps of faith as there are surefire hits, and we have an aspect of the game that can grind the action to a halt. Fortunately, most of the leaping about while exploring is fairly straightforward, but a large number feature props that drop away after a brief time of clinging to them. Occasionally you are being shot while clinging to them. Platforming is hardly the focus of the game, but it was the only time I repeatedly failed and had to try again. Guess I'm no longer any good at games. The meat of the game is dispatching waves upon waves of demons. This is where the fun and exhilaration lies. It can actually be so exhilarating as to become exhausting. You finish a fight and you can sometimes feel like you've actually physically done it yourself. There is a fair amount of hopping about in these battles, but being in self-contained areas it actually feeds really well into the flow and options presented. The challenge level of the game is fair, veering on difficult at times. You're best off starting on either of the middle 2 difficulties so that you have some wiggle room to drop down to should you find yourself in a tight spot. Doom Eternal features a hefty amount of story that is unlocked in codex pickups. Cutscenes mostly show the present and feed into the action. I guess a story is there if you want it. I personally didn't feel like I needed it in a game such as this, and I'm a man that loves stories. Initially this felt like a clear winner over Doom 2016, but as I finished the game, I feel like Eternal's predecessor was the stronger game. Birthday present for husband keeping him amused while social distancing. Means not annoying me. I actually found Doom 2016 to be a bit repetitive and boring. Quarter romping aside, I much prefer Doom 3. Enter Doom Eternal. From the outset this game isn't jumping at the deep end, it's crazy fast. I had to turn down the movement speed to near slowest and after a few levels switch to the easiest level. I'm not a hardcore FPSer and these settings fortunately worked just fine for me. There are a few difficult jumps, although for the most part these help to break up the relentless battle set pieces. Towards the end of the game said battles got overwhelming. Isn't that the point? Not once did the frame rate stutter. Pushed my PS4 to the limits and it coped admirably. I'm almost there. Almost gave up on Dark Souls because it was stupid difficult. Doom Eternal on the other hand is fun difficult. I won't be giving up. Updated opinion at bottom. I've only played a few levels, so this is more of a first impression. Before playing I read reviews and these were the main things mentioned. Low ammo, horrible platforming sections and high difficulty. I can confirm that your ammo is extremely low but your chainsaw recharges 1 bar over time and that's enough to kill a small enemy and get ammo back, but you have to do this a lot. There is a lot of platforming sections and some are pretty tough and possibly frustrating for some, and it is much harder than Doom 2016. I can only recommend this game if the above doesn't bother you much and or you are a massive FPS fan that generally loves most FPS. Even though from what I've played, I much prefer Doom 2016 so far, This may change. I'm still happy enough that I bought this game because I'm a big FPS fan, and even though I'm not yet a fan of some changes, I'm extremely happy that Doom Eternal is very different from Doom 2016. Why? Well, it feels like I'm playing a new game, and that's what I want with a sequel. In today's gaming, devs release follow-up games and change nothing or very little, making it feel like you're playing the same game. More devs need to do this to keep gaming fresh. Overall, I like my PS4, but I'm very unhappy that we still playing same old games with no or very little changes. Tomb Raider, Assassin's Creed, Batman, Spider-Man, Call of Duty. I really hope that PS5 delivers many fresh games with new ideas. Update. And so, after spending a few hours playing, my opinion has changed for the better. I've got more comfortable with the changes: dash, flame, meat hook, low ammo, higher difficulty, and I'm absolutely loving Doom Eternal. The new abilities really changed the game so much for the better. It's much faster paced than Doom 2016. The platforming parts are actually quite fun, even if the odd part can get frustrating after dying 10 plus times just trying to jump, dash and monkey bar, just to reach the next part of the level. A small tip: if the jump seems impossible, it probably is, and you must find the correct direct path. Make sure when doing platforming parts that you scan the area and look out for those walls that you can hang onto when jumping around. I think Doom 2016 was a bit scary and monster looked meaner, and glory kills was a bit more mature in Doom 2016. Doom Eternal glory kills look almost cartoon-like, and at first it bothered me, but not for long. The main gameplay loop is so much fun that I honestly don't care. Fun gameplay is more important than having darker levels and gorier kills. The fighting arenas are much bigger in Eternal, which is great, because lots of the encounters in Doom 2016 was in tiny rooms or hallways, and you never feel like you have much freedom. If you love FPS games and Doom in particular, you must play this game, and when doing so, don't let the changes put you off. Go in fully expecting to get annoyed right away by the lack of ammo. I imagine it would annoy most people at first, but you need to understand that as you play the game you will realize that you can always get more ammo. Your chainsaw charges to 1 very quickly, and all you have to do is chainsaw a small enemy and you get ammo back. A lot of fights constantly spawn enemies, so you can always get ammo back. Also, as you play, you can acquire upgrade materials. Just like previous Doom and just like old Doom, you can upgrade so you can hold more and more ammo. You have the flame attachment to set enemy on fire, and this gives you armor, and glory kills give you health. Trust me, it will take a while, but it will click and you'll be in FPS heaven. I just really hope that we get meaty single player DLC. Destiny style raids would be incredible. This game is 5/5 for me. So glad I ignored all the negative reviews because they almost stopped me from buying. Click link in description for more reviews.